Welcome to Thought Leaders, featuring interviews with some of the best minds in the industry. Today's special guest is popular platform speaker, financial columnist, and best-selling author, Tom Martin. Hello everyone, I'm Steve Savant, syndicated financial columnist and talk show host. In this segment, we're introducing you to how some carriers use spread options for index universal life policies, all from Tom's popular article, Are Caps and Floors in IUL Realistic, and his best-selling book, The Other 8 Advantages of Universal Life. So let's talk about these spreads. I mean, this is a little different because in our yesterday's show, you said, yeah, you could have two different positions on the same transaction.
Right.
Why would we want to do that?
Well, one of the reasons why we would want to do that is to participate in the upside of a security and perhaps subject ourselves to a cap in order to reduce the cost of the option. For instance, we've been talking about Apple, and the price of an option to buy Apple on the money is about $12 per share. Mm-hmm. We could write a call option at a higher price, $140 a share, and we would receive about $4 per share by selling that option or writing that call option. That would reduce our net cost of the option play. Mm-hmm. We're paying 12 on one hand and we're receiving 4 back, so our net cost is 8. It would allow us to buy more options than if we had just taken the long position. But what we're doing is we're agreeing to a cap, because once Apple trades above that strike price, our shares are going to get called away. Mm-hmm. If we don't own the shares and we have just the call options, we're going to have to redeem the call that we bought in order to make good on the call that we sold. That would, in the case that we've been talking about, with Apple basically being 115 on the money and writing a call at 140, that's 20%. We would be putting a 20% cap on our earnings.
So if I'm buying an on-the-money call and at the same time writing a call at a higher strike price, is that what we're doing here?
That's exactly what we're doing. It's called a bull call spread.
Okay, and so is that a popular tactic that an insurance carrier's option desk is using?
That is the primary way to hedge the most common index crediting strategy, which is the one-year point-to-point on the S&P 500, because it's subject to a cap. The floor is generally 0. The caps that you see range from anywhere from 12 to 14, 10 to 14 more realistically.
Now, when I'm looking at this, because I'm trying to compare, I'm trying to be at a client, because nobody wants to explain this to a consumer. This would be too deep.
Right.
But we're talking to our audience of advisors. So if I'm looking at something that's very popular, I think we just need to know mechanics. And what I would do is if I saw this video, I'd watch it a couple times just to get the mechanics down. And there's some really nice pieces out on the internet that are very basic about this that really just get you an idea, so that if you ever had to explain a little bit beyond what's going on, I think it would be helpful to learn it. And we're learning it because as advisors, we should have a little bit of insight on this.
Right.
Now, when I'm looking at this, I'm looking at your difference between your strike price of the option you purchased and the strike price of the option you sold. And I'm trying to make money on the spread. You said that I'm limiting myself on the upside. I'm capping the upside. Is that why we see certain cap? Is that the carrier strategy when he comes to us and says our cap is 10%, 12%, or whatever? Is that what we're talking about?
That's generally the point at which they're writing the call options on the securities that they're buying. The cap can be adjusted up or down based on what their option budget is.
Okay, so in basically that, but that's not the same semantics as when we're talking about, I bought an index universal life policy and they said the cap this year is 15%. That's not tied to what we're talking about, is it?
Well, it is. Behind the scenes, behind the curtain, the insurance company or the insurance company's company that they're using to hedge is buying a security, buying a call option on the security on the index that they're crediting to, and they're selling the call option based on where their caps are. If they have a 15% cap, they're going to write the call option at a 15% premium to the on-the-money call.
Just a little as a side venue, and this is editorializing, and I don't mind asking you this question, but I'm kind of suspicious now. Certain carriers, I noticed that certain carriers seem to have a greater degree of higher caps than other carriers. And I would think that we're fishing out of the same option pool. So I'm just wondering why there's such disparity. You get outside the top 6 to 8 carriers, that cap goes way down.
Right.
What's going on there?
Well, a couple of things. One, carriers earn different rates of return on their general account. A carrier that's earning 7% on their investments is going to be able to offer a greater cap than one that's earning 3%, because the one who's earning 3% has to put more of your account value in their general account in order to guarantee that you're whole at the end of the year.
Well, so not only the general account, and also some of these carriers are outsourcing their options trading desk to a third party. There's very few that have it in-house and are actually doing it in-house. So all this could matter on how much caps they're going to give us for each contract.
Right, and the other thing that does come into play, there are certain carriers, and I do business with a lot of them. Some of the carriers that I've written policies for 7 years ago have never changed their cap. Those carriers, I suspect, when they have the ability to raise their caps, are probably going to stay put while the other companies are raising their caps. Some companies I've written, their caps go up and down every single year. But I think over time, if a carrier is earning about the same amount of money as the next, their caps over time are generally going to be about the same.
Okay. Well, for more information on the mechanics of Index Universal Life and how this can impact your practice, just click on the landing page address in the video description. We'll be right back with more from Tom Martin.
This is your website. Few people visit, and if it isn't attracting new visitors, it's not doing its job. Now you can drive more visitors to your website through dynamic content and email marketing with CreativeOne's Social Media Elite. Capture quality leads faster and easier. Engage your visitors with informative articles and videos to boost your online credibility. Plus, stay connected with existing clients and earn more referrals. All content is customized for you. It's time to introduce your website to the world. Call your CreativeOne sales team at 800-992-2642 or visit us online at creativeone.com.
In this segment, we're introducing you to how some carriers use spread options for their Index Universal Life policies. All from Tom's popular article, Are Caps and Floors and IUL Realistic? And his best-selling book, The Other 8 Advantages of Universal Life. Well, Tom, we've been talking about in the previous segments on these option strategies. I'm going to take a little different dive, maybe a deeper dive into how indexed funds and ETFs work. Let's talk a little bit about how the insurance company might use this in a real-life situation, given their general account and what we were trying to get in performance.
Okay. So, Steve, suppose an insurance company hires us to hedge their IUL portfolio. They're thinking about coming out with an IUL product, and they want to have a floor of 0 and a cap of 12. The first thing that we need to do is ask them what their general account is earning. So let's suppose it's 5.75. If their account's earning 5.75, the first thing we have to do is figure out how much money we have to tuck away in that general account for it to be back to 100 at the end of the year, regardless of what the market does. So that number turns out to be about $94,600 needs to be in the general account so that we're at 100 by the end of the year. That leaves us about $5,600 as an option budget to go out and buy these options. So the one thing we're going to have to determine is what options do we buy? Well, if we're linking our returns to the S&P 500, it would make sense that we would pick an ETF that mirrors the S&P 500. There are several of them out there. Spiders are one that we'll be looking at. So let's look at and the price of Spiders right now. It trades under the symbol SPY, S-P-Y. And right now, Spiders on the money is about 210 is what they're trading at right now. So a call option to buy one Spider share costs $12.33.
And a Spider versus, is a Spider an ETF?
A Spider is an ETF.
Okay.
And the reason why ETFs are used is that they trade intraday, and it allows us to buy options on them. We can't buy options on mutual funds. So we know that we're going to buy on the call option, or on the money call options on Spiders at 210, and the cost is going to be about $12.33. We're also going to write an option at a price 12% greater than 210. So if we can go to the next graphic, and remember, we've got about $5,400 to invest, so we buy 527 call options on spiders with a strike price of 210. That price is about 6,500. We write the same number of call options at 235. Why 235? Well, it's about 12% higher than the on-the-money call. We receive back $2.09 per share for every call that we write. So our net cost for this option is about $5,400. That's the price that we have to work with. So if the S&P 500 increases 10%, spiders, rather than trading at 210, are going to be trading at 231. Our options are going to be worth $21 a share because it represents a $21 discount to the current price times 527 shares. We've made $11,067 on a 10% increase in the index. So if we have an IUL with a floor of 0 and a cap of 12 and the index goes up 10% and we have $100,000 of account value, how much as an insurance company do we owe the policyholder? $10,000, right? Well, we have $11,000 to pay it, so that allows them to pay that index credit and make $1,000 as a spread on the deal. So in this case, it works out well. Well, what happens if the market's up 20%? If the S&P 500 is up 20%, what does the insurance company need to credit the policyholder if they're capping it at 12? On a $100,000 account value, the answer is $12,000. So let's look at the next graphic and see how that works when there's a 20% increase in the market. This part is the same. We've got 527 spreads. There's a 20% increase in the market, so spiders are now trading at 252. Our call options give us the right to buy at 210, so that's a $42 discount. But we're going to get called away because we sold call options. And the call options that we sold are going to get called away at $235 a share. So we would have made a profit of $25 a share in a 20% market. We would have made the same amount if it were a 50% market because we're capped. We have 527 of those that we can sell at a $25 profit and make $13,175. Again, the insurance company is only on the hook for $12,000 because they capped you at 12%, and that gives them a spread of a little over $1,000. So I would say that if that insurance company is earning 5.75% on their portfolio, they could effectively and profitably hedge for a 0 floor and a 12 cap.
So they're making money on this deal. They paid, they credited the account, they hit their caps, and whatever the difference was, they got to keep that.
The insurance company is generally looking to make some kind of profit on a spread. They're going to make it up in mortality charges and whatnot, but in traditional universal life, they credit an interest rate less than what they're earning. It's up to the insurance company whether they want to make their spread based on the option performance, or if they just say, instead of buying 527 of these spreads, we're just going to stick some money in our pocket and maybe buy 520.
For more information on the mechanics of Index Universal Life and how this information can impact your business, just click on the landing page address in the video description. And for more information on our shows, seminars, and workshops, just follow us out on social media or visit us out on our website. I'm Steve Savant. We'll see you next time on Thought Leaders. And remember, keep thinking outside the box.